Give everyone just a minute.
Happy Monday, everybody.
Happy Monday.
There I am.
There
So,
you are. Hey,
oh my.
John. Nice to see you, sir.
Where is John? Oh, there he is. Cool. Eris is here too. All right.
I know. I got some lots of faces we haven't seen in a while.
Yeah.
So I am, we have our speaker, we have a guest today coming on at 1:45, but we have the pleasure of having for those of that missed the huddle this morning, basically like a one-on-one. It was 50 of us in a room with Dean Graziosis. I need to learn how to pronounce his name, but is he works with Tony Robbins, and I just wanted to share with
He's
you,
Tony Robbins' partner.
yeah, Tony Robbins' partner, and I really wanted to share with you all the first. Let's see if I can do this with my screen. I don't know if I can do with this one screen. Let's see. I wanted to share with you all oh, of course I just lost it. Just like the first 5 minutes, because I thought it was really good. And I feel it will be impactful for you all. But of course, my whole screen just went out. Oh my goodness. There it is. All right. And gives everyone a minute to jump on. Um,
I'm gonna look for his name and put it in the chat so everybody has it.
oh, I just put it in the chat. Oh, wait, it's right
Oh,
here.
there it is.
Right here. I just can't pronounce his last name. I butcher people's
Gra-
last name. I actually literally have to Google
Graziosi.
sometimes.
Graziosi.
Graziosi. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. But of course I didn't share my sound, so and hopefully you all will like this. A desktop.
So
Okay.
I'll do an introduction real quick because I have it up here on my screen. So Dean is I'm just gonna read it from Wikipedia. Dean Graziosi is a self-described New York Times best-selling author, entrepreneur, and investor. He's known for his work in real estate investing and self-education. Graziosi has authored multiple books, including Be a Real Estate Millionaire in 30 Days to Real Estate Profits, and has appeared in infomercials promoting his real estate training programs. He's also known for his participation and partnership with Tony Robbins on mastermind.com, a platform for business education. Anyway, amazing, amazing, amazing man. And to be able to sit in a room with this guy for an hour, a very small room with like 50 people, was freaking awesome. So anyway, there's the introduction, and Kelly's got a video that she's going to share with
Yeah,
us all.
it's an hour long. I'm not obviously going to share an hour, but I'm just going to share the first like 5 minutes, but I just yeah, I think it's good for you guys to hear.
Kindred spirits,
Can you hear?
right? This has got to be a
Yeah.
room when you're in it, you feel more alive. True?
Yeah.
Like, and you go home and there's people you love, but you also doubt yourself sometimes. True?
Yeah.
Right? There's people that question your craziness and when is enough enough, and the real estate market is too turbulent and the world's going to fall apart and go to hell in a handbasket, right? So I think the reason we can come in a room, and thank you for that amazing welcome, but I think we get that welcome because we see similar traits in each other. Isn't that true?
Yeah.
You might hear me talk online, you go, yeah, that's how I live my life. I already do that, right? So I guess what I'm trying to say is, I'll tell a little bit about my story just for context, but the fact of the matter is, if you're in this room, you know that you're meant for more. Is that true? Raise your hand if you know you're meant for more.
Absolutely.
And you're willing to do what other people aren't willing to do to achieve it. Everybody, it doesn't matter what room you're in, everybody says they're meant for more, but most people aren't willing to sacrifice. Most people aren't willing to fight that voice that says this isn't going to work. Most people aren't willing to fight imposter syndrome or fight their friends or their spouse or their family to do whatever it takes to be resourceful to make it work. The thing is, if you're in this room, I already have massive respect for you because I know when it wasn't supposed to work, you became resourceful enough to make it work. How could we not be friends? How could we not have similar traits and get along and be in a room for 2 minutes and go, hey, how do we all feel so alike? Because there's nobody in here going, I want more, but somebody took it from me. I want more, but it's the last president's fault. I want more, but it's the new president's fault. We all know the common thread each of us have is we know our success and failure relies on one human being. The person you see in the mirror. There is no one coming to save us, ever. Jerome Powell, like for years, like whoever it was through the years, there's nobody. The lower rates might not save us. The tax cuts might not save us. In the last 50 years, there wasn't a president to come in and go, pixie dust, you're all good now, right? That's just not the way it works.
Reagan was close. Okay, I'm just saying.
He was. He was.
Gipper.
The Gipper was pretty funny. His jokes were hysterical as well. Did you ever see his jokes about the kittens?
Oh, I love
so
this.
good. He fed up, it's like a serious State of the Union, and he starts with, went to the Democratic convention, and there was a little boy selling kittens for $1, and he was calling the kittens Democratic kittens. These are Democratic kittens. Buy them for $1. Democratic kittens. Buy them for $1. And then 2 months later was a month later was the Republican convention, and he's outside selling them as Republican kittens. And the guy walks up and says, "Hey, I saw you at the Democrat convention, and you were selling them there as Democrat kittens. Now they're Republicans. What's the difference?" He goes, "Their eyes opened."
Sorry if you're a Democrat in this room.
That had nothing to do with politics, just a funny joke for a president to say live on TV when he's supposed to be giving a State of the Union, you know?
Funnier if you're a Republican.
Yeah, way funnier if you're a Republican. So the part of the story is, really what I want to say is, I respect you all for what you do in the invisible when no one's watching. You wouldn't be in this room if you didn't do the things when no one was watching that made you be here when they are watching. It's not what people do on the front stage, it's what they do behind stage. Everybody wants to be front stage. The whole world wants to be front stage. But most people aren't willing to do what it takes to be there. I mean, I told a story once about, I know I'm digressing here, but I'm really just admiring you guys, is when you see a comedian at Madison Square Garden with every ticket sold out, and he's so funny that you can't catch your breath from the prior joke, right? When people see that, is that what everybody wants? If you see a rock band in Times Square with 100,000 people, everybody wants to be on that stage. Everybody wants to make it so people are screaming your name. Everybody wants that outcome. But if they really looked and see that comedian probably spent 5 years at excuse my language, at shitty comedy clubs with one person or 5 people, and he went someplace and got no laughs, slept in his car, missed family, missed the dance recital of his daughter because he was doing a thing for $70, or the guitar player whose parents said, you better go to college, and if you don't go to college, I'm never talking to you, but he's still stuck with the guitar. And no one wants that. Everybody just wants to be front stage. So I just want to commend all of you for being in this room.
So I'm going to stop there just in lieu of time, but anyone have any takeaways? Anyone enjoy that? Anyone hit home for anyone?
The jokes were hilarious.
Where can we
Yes.
get more?
YouTube.
Well,
Dean's
Well,
all over
it-
YouTube. I watch him all the
Yeah, he's-
time.
yeah, he's all over. But did anyone get anyone have any good nuggets from that at all? I thought that was really powerful. Jeff and I have really focused, I would say, the past, few years really surrounding ourselves with like-minded people, right? Like all of you, like I'm blessed every day for those that join the huddle, that we're able to mastermind, that we have a goal, that we always want to be better, right? But does anyone have any takeaways from that at all?
Well,
my gosh,
for me,
oh.
I got that, it's all you. I mean, I just had a call with an agent some an EXP agent somewhere else in the country, and we were talking. And she says, I've had different coaches, Jeff, and I haven't had any luck. And she's all, I feel like it's actually not the coaches, it's me, it's my mindset, and I need to know that. I said, yeah, you need to look in the mirror, and that's the problem, right? It's you. So you got to work on you first before you can listen to somebody else coaching you. So what I got out of that is that we are different people. We don't want to be average. Like if someone said, hey, we're gonna have a party next weekend, it's gonna be average, you should come, right? Most people aren't going to come to that party, right? Because it's going to be average. You want to come to a party that's going to be outstanding, outrageous. It's going to be a great party, right? That's the kind of party you're going to want to go to. So if you bring that into your salesmanship, right? That's what's going to make you a better salesperson, because you no matter how you feel, what's going on at home, you have to just step up to the occasion and be something that you may not be at that time of day or the time of your life. So anyway, anybody else got anything you want to share?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
I think
Angela.
that I've heard some of this stuff before, and sometimes I get the same message. And I think sometimes we get bombarded by a lot of things, and you start to live outward in, and you have to start
Yeah.
living from the inside out. And living from the inside out takes self accountability.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
if you get over that hump, then because you can't fool the person in the mirror.
I like that. Say that again, Michon.
You can't fool the person in the mirror. So that's when living from inside out gets really from inside out. And that's
Yeah.
where your goals and dreams are, but it takes self accountability. And we sometimes don't see that self accountability until we look in the mirror, because you can't fool that person at all.
Yep. That's right.
Absolutely.
That person knows what's really going on.
Exactly.
And Angela, you had something?
Yeah, I've been following Dean Graziosi for years. I get a text from him every Monday, actually, to join in on something. And it just reminded me where I got one of my scripts from that I use with my buyers and sellers, because people don't see how much work you do to make something happen, right? So one of the scripts I use with them is, if I was to call or text you every time I'm doing something for you during the course of this transaction, you would get angry at me and tell me to stop blowing up your phone. So don't assume that I'm not talking to you every day, that I'm not doing something for you every day.
That's a good one. I like that, Angela.
Mhm.
Great.
I
All
think
right,
Jeff
any-
touched on it
Oh, sorry.
perfectly, because he said that, his client said it was her mindset. And someone said that to me this past weekend. They were like, change your mindset, change your life.
Mhm.
And you should start by just eliminating the word can't out of your vocabulary.
right.
Because if you tell yourself you can't do something, essentially you're not going to do it. And in this business, we are our business. Like, we got to put ourselves out there. We got to put ourselves up and be ready to do things. Otherwise, we're not going to get anything in return. So that's kind of just what I gained from it. Like, do what you do and the rest will kind of follow, but you got to step out there first.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And do it like behind the scenes, like you said, what you would do when people are watching. Do it. If you do what you would do when people are watching when they're not watching, that's going to make a difference.
So before I announce our guest today, I do want to add, I have a lot of agents that will come to Jeff and I and say, this isn't working. I'm leaving EXP because I'm not closing any deals. And, they're not looking at what are they doing on a daily basis to drum up business, to close deals, right? It's looking in the mirror. Don't blame it on the team. Don't blame it on the market. Don't blame it on the brokerage. Look in the mirror and see what you can do and adjust. And those that show up, I mean, you guys show up on the huddles every morning, and it's like and then every day it's like you guys have more and more wins, right? And I feel like the more masterminding we do and the
Momentum.
more momentum, we're going to continue to, excel. So anyways, last but not least, let me introduce, Mr. Coach Paul Frank. How are you, sir? Nice to see you.
Good to see you. Good to see
Yeah.
all of you. Good to be seen.
Absolutely.
Can you hear me okay?
We can.
I can hear you, but I also want to add, we just spent, a few days in Arizona with Paul and Brent Gove and everybody, the group that you just saw that video from. But Paul is like EXP commercial period. Like this man is amazing. I talked a little bit about you on a huddle this morning, but there's a lot more people here than were there in our small group this morning. But listen to what Paul says about commercial deals. Anytime you have a commercial deal, think about Paul and refer him, because he can do anything anywhere in the country and some big dollars. And I hope he shares some of the commissions that some EXP realtors have gotten just by introducing him to the right people. So this don't leave this meeting early, because what Paul's going to bring to us is worth tens of thousands of dollars, if not hundreds. Go ahead, Paul.
Absolutely.
Kelly, do you have anything else to say? Sorry, I might have interrupted you.
No, I'm just excited to have you. So thank you for
Yeah,
joining.
likewise.
You can tell the story about Jeff and Kim, or what? I'm joking.
Oh,
gosh.
that's
Stay there for last if we have time.
a cautionary tale.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just to clarify, this isn't about me, though I appreciate it. This is about you guys and the untapped opportunity for all of you. So above all, please take notes. I promise you that what I'm going to show you has the potential to change your business and your life. And those words do not come easy to me, but it is something that we actually live on a daily basis. What we are seeing residential agents build through what we're going to go over here is literally life-changing. So get your pad and paper and be prepared. First of all, how many of you, by a show of hands, or in actually the chat would probably be better, handle commercial real estate? Okay. And how many of you are dedicated commercial agents? Don't sell houses, you just do commercial real estate. Looks like Eris. Got it. Okay. First takeaway. That is the last time that if that question is asked that you don't answer it affirmatively. Moving forward, anytime somebody asks you if you handle commercial real estate, write this down. The answer will be absolutely, we do. If you take nothing else from this, that is your answer. So I'm going to share my PowerPoint right here, hopefully. Boom. How'd we do?
Good.
You got it?
Yep.
Okay. And is it taking up the whole screen? Sometimes I do these and people about 10 minutes in say, hey, we can't see anything.
Yeah, no, I could. I see the whole thing. It looks
beautiful. And I do not, just as a preface, I enjoy being interrupted. So if anybody has any questions along the way, interrupt me. I cannot really see the chat thing. So Kelly, if somebody wants to interrupt me, by all means, interrupt me.
I'll monitor the chat.
Beautiful. Okay, so again, my name is Paul Frank. And I am here. I like to talk to you. I like to reframe this as lead recognition. We say expand your business with commercial real estate, but this is literally about lead recognition, and you'll see why I say that here in a minute. Briefly, a little bit of my background so you know who you're dealing with. I'm the president, CEO of the PDF group of companies. I've been a commercial developer and broker for 40 years. Over my career, I have developed and brokered hundreds of millions of square feet of real estate, covering every product class throughout the United States and internationally. Aside from my professional experience, I've also been an athlete and a coach most of my life. I coached over 25 years at the youth, high school, and collegiate level. That's why you'll hear people refer to me as Coach or Coach Frank. It's not some title that I just threw on a business card for marketing purposes. I've also been a business coach and mentor for nearly as long. And that overall experience has given me what Coach Dungy refers to as an uncommon perspective. And that perspective has come through a lot of lessons, some of them very expensive lessons, but there's two lessons, two truths really that I want to share with all of you that are vitally important to everybody on this call. So number one of the two truths, over my career, I discovered that there is one thing that nearly every single person I have ever dealt with in commercial real estate at any level, at any capacity has in common. And that one thing is that they live in a house. And by virtue of that commonality, they have something else in common, which is our truth number two. They have a relationship with you. They have a relationship with a residential realtor. And if you think this doesn't apply to you, you are absolutely wrong. I don't care if you've been in the business for 2 days or 50 years, as we'll see in a minute. Every single one of you have commercial relationships and commercial opportunities in your network. Now, the problem is that traditionally, you all have blinders on. You are focused on finding or selling that home for your clients, and nothing else makes the radar screen. It is as if you're looking through the scope of a rifle at that target, and you have what I refer to as peripheral deal vision. So what I hope to do is help you take those blinders off and take advantage of the opportunities that are literally around you every single day. So write this one down. CRE, commercial real estate, is not more complicated. It's just different. Despite what the egos in this business will try to convince you of, commercial real estate is not more complicated. In fact, I am confident that every one of you is capable of sourcing and completing a commercial transaction. I'm equally, if not more confident, that I would be in way more trouble trying to sell a residential property. There is a reason that I have never sold a house in my life, in my career, and it's not because it's more complicated. So even though I've told you that you are capable of handling commercial transactions, you absolutely do not want to try to do it on your own. And there are a whole bunch of reasons and case studies that I can give you. I'm going to focus briefly on 3. Number 1 is the distraction. Commercial opportunities will come to you through your core business, residential real estate, through your core relationships in residential real estate. And I can tell you that the minute that you are distracted by trying to covet and handle a commercial opportunity on your own, there will be a price to pay for that distraction. And many times it is absolutely devastating. Number 2, CRE tools. Commercial real estate is a pay-to-play proposition. If you are trying to compete using the MLS or even LoopNet, you are going to get your butt handed to you. It is a matter of time before you get yourself in trouble because you do not have the tools required to compete in this pool. And number 3, and this is big, the liability. Another huge takeaway for you to understand. In residential real estate, if you screw up, your liability, your exposure may be thousands, maybe tens of thousands of dollars. In commercial real estate, things are much different. And to compound this, the law assumes that everybody involved in commercial real estate is an expert or has access to experts. We do not have the disclosures that you have that protect both the client and the agent. And I'm going to give you an example on this one. I worked on I was a consultant on a legal case down in Los Angeles County, where a long-term, very successful Beverly Hills residential agent decided to represent one of his best clients in the leasing of a retail furniture location, literally a box to sell couches out of, seemingly an easy deal. This agent objectively did not know the difference between a single net, double net, triple net, modified gross, full service lease, and every iteration in between. But the lease was negotiated and signed. Now, it was what we call proprietary, meaning it was drafted by a law firm. It wasn't a form lease. And it was long and complicated. It was 60, 65 pages. But remember, the law assumes everybody is an expert. Well, this client took possession of the property only to find out that in addition to base rent, he owed $17,250 a month for 10 years for triple net reimbursement. That's $17,250 a month for 120 months, well over a $2 million liability, let alone increases over that 10 years. And the icing on the cake was that unbeknownst to him, within this 60, 65 page lease, he was also obligated to the maintenance, repair, and replacement of the roof and HVAC systems. What I can tell you is that those types of mistakes are career-ending and life-changing, especially if your E&O and your ICA don't cover you or allow you to handle those transactions. Huge takeaway is the liability. So before I go over, which our time frame here, I'll show you in a minute, but I'm not going to go over the 6 steps. I really want you to consider my why. I am here because Jeff and Kelly asked me to be here. I am here to help you if you're willing to be helped. As I said, I'm a coach at heart. It is in my DNA to help people to a fault, as my wife will explain. I don't have anything to sell you. I don't have a QR code with some 50% off coaching deal. I got nothing. Don't get me wrong. If we work together or you work with our team, that's great for all of us, but that is not my why. Actually, I was interviewed for a thing this morning, and this question came up again, my definition of success. Because again, I've coached for a quarter century, and anytime I'm interviewed, that question seems to come up, whether it's sports and coaching or business, my definition of success. And that has always been an easy answer for me, especially since my dad passed away in the 90s. And I define success by how many people show up to your funeral and what they have to say. That is, in my opinion, a true indication of the impact you made with the time God gave you here, and the only measurement of success. So hopefully some of you are going to bite on what I teach you here, and it will change your life, and possibly you'll have something to say nice at my funeral one day, hopefully later than sooner. So 6 steps to expanding your business. If you scan that QR code, again, there's no paywall. This is just based on time. I did a video in Cabo that goes over the 6 steps, so you can watch it and digest it on your own time. And then always reach out to me if you have any questions whatsoever. As I say, I am easy to find and happy to help. So if you scan that, the actual 6 steps, which you will watch them and you will think, well, this is sort of ridiculous and simple. What I can tell you is that those 6 steps are absolutely changing people's businesses and lives. So, as far as examples go, and I'm going to back up 1 second, about 80 to 90% of our commercial deal flow right now is coming from you, residential agents, because you know the people. The standard accepted paradigm in commercial real estate is these kids sit at Colliers, CBRE, Cushman, and they make cold calls 8 hours a day. And I hate to break this to you, but they are calling your clients. You just don't know it because you are so isolated into residential real estate that the topic never comes up. So these tactics, what you will see in those 6 steps, absolutely work. So as an example, as Jeff was referring to, and I think this isn't a big one, but Tom Daves, I've never sold a house, love Tom to death. He was the #1 Keller Williams agent on the planet for like 7 years in a row. 50 years in the business. He heard me speak at a conference. He was in the front row taking copious notes as the greats do. And for the first time in his 50-year career, he left that 2 days later, he went to a listing appointment. And for the first time in his 50-year career, after he got the listing signed for the house, he asked this question. Hey, do you have any commercial real estate that you need help with? And their answer was, well, Tom, yeah, actually, we're thinking about selling one of our industrial properties. Do you handle commercial real estate? And his response was, absolutely, we do. My team and I do a bunch of commercial real estate. Why don't you get me the address and we'll get our thoughts together and get back to you. He did a 3-way text with me, connected with the client. We had that property listed and sold within a month, and Tom got a referral fee for $24,000 simply for asking that question. He later, I thought it was on the next slide, but it's a longer presentation, but he actually did the math on it. And it took him like 20 seconds to ask that question, another 20 seconds to do the 3-way text, and then it took him about 2 minutes to fill out the referral form on our website. So as he put it, he had less than 3 minutes invested in making this $24,000, which as he ran the math, equated to, I think, $480,000 an hour, as opposed to him trying to covet and figure out how to navigate this deal all on his own, which possibly he would have gotten 100% of that transaction. But at the same time, that transaction was not simple. We had a phase 1, phase 2 issue and a bunch of environmental stuff that could have gotten him in a lot of trouble. I had another gal that I have never met before, Reese. She heard me on a podcast. She went to a lunch on the Riverwalk in San Antonio, Texas. Having lunch, this guy mentioned some problems that his dad was having on a commercial transaction, a larger commercial transaction. And her response was, oh my gosh, you got to have him call Paul Frank. He can take care of it. That was, I believe, $137,000 referral fee for simply recognizing that opportunity and referring the deal. We have, as Jeff was referring, I've got a gal in North Carolina that I've never physically met. She embraced this, made an introduction to a company that we are doing 2,500 projects across the United States for. We currently have about 520 deals in the works between contracts and LOIs, and she will be receiving 25% of every one of those transactions because she recognized the opportunity and connected us. So they are real, they are life-changing. In that case, we are talking literally millions of dollars in referral fees that she is going to be collecting simply based on identifying that opportunity.
Wait, so
Yep.
one realty agent that connected you with a principal is making how much?
It will be, I mean, just one of the transactions in Los Angeles is a $23 million deal at 3%. So that's, I don't even know what it is, 23.
So I guess what I'm saying is I want to make sure everybody understands there is a lot of money to be made for just simply referring a commercial deal.
$690,000.
Yeah, so her referral fee is $172,500 just on that one transaction.
One introduction, just on the one transaction, and there's more, right? They have that.
We have like 520 in the works. They're not all 23 million. They vary dramatically,
Right.
but yeah, that if you equate that to the time invested between the three-way text and introduction, it is almost not calculable.
Right. Calculable, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah. I mean, you talked about that one person that did that deal in Beverly Hills or wherever that could put them a career ender. I mean, this is technically a career ender, meaning that she could almost retire off of those kinds of dollars, right?
Yeah, the LA deal was actually a career ender. It ended a pretty storied and colorful residential real estate career. It was bad.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Wow.
And, you know, to double up on the relationship side of this, you all get invited to the weddings and the baby showers. We don't on the commercial side. The relationships that you generally build are just so much more personal. The issue again is that you just never venture into that commercial arena. Actually, I coached football for years and years, and there are only two reasons that NFL receivers don't catch a pass. It's either fear or greed. Fear being that when they're coming across, they're afraid of getting hit and they take their eyes off the ball. Or greed, where they are calculating their celebration in the end zone before they catch the ball and they take their eyes off the ball. I think the same thing happens for residential agents. They're either terrified of it and don't want to touch it, or the greed aspect comes into play and they try to navigate it on their own, sometimes without any problems, many times with significant issues. In fact, on the negative side of the storytelling, I just had about 2 months ago, a residential agent that had a listing on a property, ended up buying it from his client. He thought he was getting a steal. I think it was like 400 and something thousand that he bought this commercial property for. He paid cash for it on a line of credit, and then he went to do something with the property and found out that it is what we call a dirty piece. Even though it doesn't have any remnants of it visibly, it was a gas station. And because he paid cash for it, there was no phase 1 or phase 2 done, didn't realize that it was property and it was a listed property. And as a result, I think the cleanup on the thing was about $1.7 million, which he was complaining, why didn't my client disclose this? Why didn't it come up in title or anything like that? And if you don't know, you don't know. So the good thing is that he bought it himself for the $400,000 instead of selling it to a client without understanding all of the ramifications of it. Oops. Next thing I want you to think about relative to this is, I don't care what brokerage you work with, if you are building teams, agent attraction and agent retention. If you can teach agents how to bait and fish with a second pole, they will come to you and they will not leave you. It is doubling down on the business. And again, even like Tom Daves and many others, they're cold calling. Now every single cold call is coached to ask the question, aside from the residential needs, whether they or someone they know has a commercial need. To not ask that question is irresponsible, in my opinion. Whether you work with me or whether, as you see in that 6-step process, you find somebody else, what you can do with your business is absolutely mind-blowing simply by asking that question of your current clients and anybody that you talk to. What can you refer? Anything, anywhere. There are opportunities for every product class, business opportunities, meaning the business within the real estate, not even including the real estate. So if somebody's selling a plumbing company or a dental practice, you can refer those. Office, retail, industrial, any type of commercial use, owner, user, or investor, anything, anywhere you have the opportunity to refer. And as I tell the people that I work with, and I go over in detail in the 6 steps, I am a huge advocate for what I refer to as team speak. We, not me. Anything that I've done, we've done. Anything that I do, we do. And incorporating that team we speak into what you present to people is imperative. Nobody likes just being handed off to somebody. So incorporating that team speak and we into it is super important. So yeah, lease, owner, user, investor, literally I should get rid of all these slides. Anything, anywhere. Us on my team, I'm licensed, I think, in about 12 or 13 states and getting licensed in a bunch of others. Well over 50% of our deals are outside of my home state. So anything, anywhere. Hotels, wineries, storage, business opportunities. You can also refer commercial property management deals, which is really interesting. Again, something else just to discuss at dinner parties or sports practices. Those people that have commercial properties that maybe they don't need brokerage services, if you find a commercial property management company, you can refer those deals to that management company. So there's all the stuff that you can, one more time. I think this is, raise your hand. This is when I do it in person, but raise your hand if you handle commercial real estate. Everybody should have their hand up. There should be no circumstance where you fail to raise your hand. And one of the things that we train on, and we have some scripts that we share, and again, I don't sell anything. I don't have any coaching program. One of the apprehensions is being the dog that caught the car. Okay, yeah, I say we handle commercial real estate. Now what the hell do I do if somebody has something? You just buy the time, you use the team speak, and you wait to connect either with somebody on our team or somebody in the commercial world that you connect with and proactively build a rapport with, and you buy yourself some time to get that over to your commercial team. So I am easy to find and happy to help. I actually also have a 6-class series on commercial real estate that goes over, they're like 5 or 7 minutes a pop, and it goes over the core principles of commercial real estate. And I would dare say that if you even watch those, you will be ahead of a lot of people that make a living in commercial real estate. It gives you a great base understanding of commercial real estate with those 6 classes. So that is that QR code there again. I think it goes to my Popl. You don't get spammed. There's no paywall, nothing like that. Megan or somebody in the office will connect you with that video about the 6 steps and also the 6 classes if you are interested. Boom.
Thank you, Paul, so much. Who has
Awesome.
questions for Paul?
The 6 classes, they're a paid series, a series that's just for us to learn.
Yeah, there is no paywall. I don't do any, they're just free classes. 6 they go over property types, land use and property types, commercial leases, commercial purchases. I forget what the other ones are. 1031 exchanges, 1031 exchanges, and I don't know. They're very, very relevant. And what a lot of people don't know about commercial real estate is that the big houses silo their agents into property types, deal structures, geography. So even though there's some grand egos in this business, they are very isolated in their experience and knowledge base. It would be akin to you only being able to sell 4-bedroom, 3-bath houses in one zip code in Newport, for example. If it's a 5.4 or a 6.5, you can't touch it. It's just kind of a bizarre paradigm in commercial real estate. So those 6 classes really give you a good, broad understanding of commercial real estate. And yes, I am licensed in Alabama.
I was going to say, what
What about
states are you
California?
not licensed in? He's in California. He lives in California.
Yeah, gosh, in the last few weeks, I've been Alabama, Tennessee, St. Louis, Missouri, Detroit. Like I said, most of our business is outside of California. And yes, Shasha, all those classes are free. I also have a Wednesday and Friday Zoom call on commercial real estate where a lot of residential agents come and just pose questions, and we go over case studies and things that I'm dealing with right now. As many of you probably understand, there's not a real good source to learn about commercial real estate. It's more trial and error. Like right now, I'm dealing with some big eminent domain cases, one in Hawaii, and just exposure to some really interesting things that you wouldn't normally get exposure to.
And we can get exposure to those with the code in the.
Yeah. So yeah, I
in the
just put
window?
the link in the chat too, so you guys can click on the link as well. Eric Bangle, you had a question. I see your hand up. I don't want to miss you.
Yeah, my question is, if we want to turn this into a nationwide service, so to speak, like I have 100 agents in my organization, they might come to me with something. How would I get them in touch? Would you maybe facilitate a referral to another group outside the states you handle? As far as keeping it like a one-stop shop type thing, where I just want to make it simple for people.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm on the for good or bad, because of my background and stuff, my profile in EXP Commercial, which is a completely separate brokerage from EXP Realty, has sort of escalated. I'm on the National Agent Advisory Council, and I work with Leo and John and Sean and Lindsay and all of them on a regular basis. So I've made one change in my life brokerage wise, and I'm invested in both helping anybody, but especially within this platform. So you can reach out to me and I can definitely get you and your people connected with somebody if they're more appropriate in that case.
Okay, thanks.
And
Thank
Kelly,
you, thank
if you
you.
can get those links for his meetings that he has twice a week, I believe you said, Paul, because that's
It's
something.
in the, it's in the chat. It's in the, it's in, everything's on that. Everything's on the link that I put in the
Oh, I
chat.
see. Okay.
It's all there. So like join the weekly calls, listen, everything's in there. Everything you need's in there. Miss Debbie,
Yeah,
go
I
ahead.
just checked the link. All you gotta do is fill in a little bit of information and you're hooked up.
You're there. You're there. All right, Miss Debbie, go ahead.
Okay, so how does the referral work? I mainly do REOs, and some of my clients do have commercial properties, and some of them do have a lot of them. I've never done one because I don't really know how. So how does your referral program work? Like if I refer company ABC to you, is that, it's per property, right? I mean, if they have 10 properties, would it be per property? How does that work?
So I'm speaking for my team and myself here. So be very clear, this isn't like an overall policy or anything. I do 25% across the board, period. And that goes for, second, third generations of deals. So if somebody like the North Carolina gal that I'm referring to, there's literally going to be hundreds and hundreds of deals. I would not know these people without her. I wouldn't have the opportunity, and there's an incredible value to that. Some other people may not view it that way. I've been in the business long enough to understand that sharing that in the long term will probably do well for me. So I do 25% across the board in perpetuity. Did that answer your question? Which, by the way, sorry to interrupt, on my calls and everything, there's only one rule that I have, is that nobody can ever preface a question by saying this is probably a dumb question, because when I don't know the answer to it, then I'm inherently dumb. So there are no dumb questions ever.
Yeah, a lot of my clients are in California, but I'm in Texas. So they have, properties here, and they've asked me about them, and, they've just gone to a commercial agent. So, this is great news.
Yeah. We have a strong team in Texas. In fact, one of my boys was playing for the Cowboys, and he's still there in Texas now, and we have several others.
Awesome. Cecilia, you have your hand up. You're on mute if you're talking.
There you go.
Sorry.
It's
Yes.
okay.
Question regarding a lot of companies moving. Huh? What was
Nothing.
that?
Go ahead.
We got you.
You're
Go
good.
ahead.
Oh,
Go
can
ahead.
you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You're
Hello?
good. Yeah, you're here.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Perfect. All right. Sorry, I'm on the road. So out here in Inland Empire, there's a lot of manufacturing companies moving out this way, and a lot of green energy also. I attended one of the local conferences that they had, and I met quite a few people that are looking for site locators or site selection areas, and asked, because I'm a realtor, they asked, can I do that? Like, would I be able to help them do that? And so I said, sure, I don't see why not. So I'm not sure how that all works, on the commercial side. Is that just a small portion, right, of the bigger picture, if you will? would I be able to do that, or is it best to just refer it?
So one of the things in the 6-class series is, actually one of the 3 reasons to not is the tool side of it. To operate without what's called CoStar is like trying to sell houses without the MLS.
Right.
LoopNet is owned by CoStar, and it's a public-facing marketing arm for LoopNet. So it is like glorified newspaper ads. Like I pay them, I don't know, $6,000-7,000 a month for like a chunk of listings. The point is that it's only got a portion of what's available out there. So in order to competently represent and look for things, you need CoStar. Now you could get CoStar, but it's $6,000 for a year-long subscription, and you can't share it and you can't get out of it in 6 months. So it depends if people want to invest in that. Plus, it's going to take you 6 months how to figure out how the darn thing works anyway, because it's so robust. In that case, especially when you are dealing with land use issues, zoning and things like that, you really want to get aligned with somebody that has a firm grasp, because you'll burn a bridge very quickly, or an opportunity, if you present properties that have some type of zoning overlay or other issue that make it not a viable option.
Okay, so it's best to refer it, is what you're
Yes.
saying?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
100%. 100%. Unless you're going to be a commercial agent, Cecilia, you need to be referring that stuff, because you don't have the tools. You don't have our skill set is residential. So stick, always stay in your lane type of thing, right? Like you also want to provide the client with the best service, right? Like you're not going to give them the best
Sure.
service if that's not your wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've been dealing with land for a couple years now, so it's not like I'm totally green on it. So that's why I was asking. But yeah, if you're saying it's best to refer it, I guess that would be the smartest option.
Yeah. Are you familiar with phase 1, phase 2, and?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Just be careful, because a lot of people think land is in commercial is low-hanging fruit, and it is by far one of the most complicated arenas to operate in. In fact, we have a listing up in Adelanto right now that came back on a hard money lender that had an appraisal of $38 million. This group lended, I think, $8 million based on the as-is value of $18 million, and we just listed it for 1.8 million. So let me repeat that.
Wow.
They loaned $8 million.
Wow. Yeah.
And it's listed at 1.8, and I'm not sure that we will be able to sell it for 1.8.
Yeah, not out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's right across from the ice facility in Adelanto, if anybody knows anybody up there. But Bashira, did you have something?
Yeah. One more question.
Well, it was kind of more of a 2-part question. But I feel like you answered it. My service is getting kind of choppy here. I'm moving around. But can you do both? Like, essentially, can you do both commercial and residential, was question 1. And then question 2 is, if I currently have a referral, I can go to that same link that Kelly has in there and refer them to you, yes?
Yeah, and if we can't handle it, we'll get you set up with somebody that can take care of you. As far as the initial question, in it can work out fine. Some people meander through commercial deals and succeed. I would highly suggest that no matter what brokerage you're at, that you look at your ICA. Most of them require written approval by the designated broker prior to engaging. And unfortunately, I could write a book on cases where residential agents did not know that, and they're knee deep in a problem, and then it comes up, well, you didn't abide by your ICA and get approval prior to engaging. And many cases, the E&O insurance does not cover. So it falls into the category of it's all good until it's not.
Yep. And Bashira, I mean, so everyone on the call is with EXP, but Bashira, that's something you could do. But again, I don't know. I'd rather, honestly, I'd refer it all day long. I don't want to do commercial. I mean, it'd be great to learn it, but it's not my skill set, right? So refer it, make that money, make the client happy, right? You're going to make the client happy because you're referring it to a professional who does commercial full time.
And I just referred two houses, 4.4 and 5.2 million. Which was sort of tempting, but I know nothing about, and to give you an idea on your sky slopes, where you guys have, I don't know, 60 or 70 boxes or something, it makes my stomach turn. I could sell literally a $30 million property, and I think I've got like 4 or 5 boxes on my sky slope. So we take on an enormous amount of risk and obligation that we know what we're doing because we don't have all those disclosures.
So one more question, because we're over time. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Bashir.
No, you're fine. It was just like a follow-up comment because I run into people now. Like, I work in property management, so I have a commercial property and I have residential properties. And occasionally we don't have anything for like retail right now. It's only office space. So when people come in looking for retail, I'm always like, I don't know what to tell people, but now it's like, I'll just refer you.
Absolutely, we do.
All right, Michonne, last one because we are over time.
Oh, sorry, Paul, is there any, I refer all commercial, I just don't deal with it. Is there anything too small or too big? Because I like warm transfers, but I don't want to waste any time.
You know what? To my detriment, there is nothing. There's some things that are not achievable. But yeah, we try to take care of everybody regardless of how small, because you'd be surprised that nail salon that nobody will touch, all of a sudden the family owns 3 apartment complexes that you're listing and doing deals for, literally. So yeah, we try to take care of everybody.
That's right. Actually, I have a couple people who are tire shops and they just went from renting, now they're owning, now they're building. So that's what I was asking.
Absolutely. Cool. Yep. Yep. Cool.
All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for joining. And then everyone, make sure you grab it. This was recorded, so you guys can go back and watch it. Also, the notes will be posted as well. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Paul.
You betcha. Great seeing y'all.
Yeah, likewise.
Take care.
Bye. Bye, guys.